Live streaming of SDR News coverage at HP Discover has been made possible by Intel Corporation. Check out Intel OpenPort IT, where you can connect with your peers at Intel on industry topics, best practices, strategies, and more. And by Microsoft, where HP and Microsoft are working together, combining their respective strengths to deliver innovative technologies to help advance your business.
Talking exactly about HP and Microsoft working together. That's what we're going to be talking about in this interview. I'm Andy McCaskey from SDR News, and I'm joined by Mr. Jeff Malec.
Yep.
And Jeff, what is your role for Microsoft?
Sure. So I work on the HP account with Microsoft. I'm responsible for the US relationship with their PPS side, which is Windows, Office, and Server when you translate it to Microsoft speak.
Yeah. Well, you know, we had a really good chance to take a look at some of the Windows 8 products at Frankfurt at HP Discover. And there, I kind of related my experience. I'm not sure I've ever had a good Windows 8 demo. You know, you go into a big box store and you walk over and it's kind of unattended, you're clicking around, and if you find a clerk, maybe not too knowledgeable. And what's HP and Microsoft, how are you all working together to try and solve that particular problem?
Well, the first thing is, you know, you sort of have to feel sorry for the RSP or the retail sales professional sitting in there. They've got to worry about wash machines and PCs and telephones, and there's a lot of focus on CDs and music and all these wonderful things. So we're spending a lot of time with HP going in there and educating those people on how to tell the story about the device, not just what are the speeds and the feeds, how much memory this has, how fast this processor is, or how wonderful this hookup is versus that hookup. It's really around what do you want to do, sir or ma'am or cousin or sister, brother, whoever that is, and shaping the story around them. So we've been spending a lot of time, HP and us, together with the retail channel all up, putting these programs together, and I think next time you walk into one of those stores, you're going to have a much better experience.
So you've got a new device to show us here.
I do, and you know, a lot of people have seen this. This is the ElitePad 900. And if you haven't already seen it, if you go to Microsoft, if you go to hp.com/ElitePad, you can get all the specs and the feed on it, but feel this. Just take a feel.
Oh, it's very light.
And it's really solid too, isn't it?
That's the first thing that I noticed,
yeah.
Yes. And I haven't had a chance to see it, and of course you've got a nice case for it as well.
I did, I brought this along. This is a battery case, and you know, HP's going to shoot me because I can never remember the name of it. But this, because it runs on the Intel platform, the Atom chip, gets about 8 hours of battery life by itself. When I stick it in this case, which has an extra battery in it, I get another 10 on top of that.
Yeah, and not unreasonable weight at all.
No, not at all.
Not
Fits very nicely in an airplane pocket, so don't leave it in the seat if you're flying around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think the ability to integrate this into existing business systems is really one of the most compelling parts of the story.
It is, you're right. And the fact is, if you think about it, a lot of folks are moving off of Windows XP now. Windows XP we're going to reduce, or we're going to stop the support on that in April of next year. So if you're not started already on the getting off of XP motion, Microsoft and HP are putting a program together. You're going to see that launch on July 1st. But the reality is, if you're not on 7 or 8 now, you got to think about it. If you're going to 7 though, Windows 8's a really good consideration, because if you think about it, Windows 7 is an app inside Windows 8. So I'm not up on the monitor right now, but I've got all my Windows apps that are running here on this slate. So I've got all the modern UI that sits, all the fun Skype and Netflix and all those wonderful apps that I use for my personal life, combined with my work apps that I use internally at work, like Outlook and PowerPoint and Excel.
Well, I know that is, on the surface, is an advantage of being able to combine your personal applications along with your business applications. But the notion of security comes up. How do you partition and keep the two separate?
Yeah, well, that's a really good point. And with the Windows infrastructure that a lot of customers have built already, group policy, Active Directory, you can put policies in place to manage the data back and forth so it's separate. For instance, at Microsoft, we use Office 2013, obviously. So one of those components is Skydrive Pro. So all my work files go on Skydrive Pro, all my personal files go on Skydrive. The service is skydrive.com. So that way, work can manage a Skydrive Pro piece, keep it secure, And I know if the device is ever lost, my group policy can actually remote wipe this machine because it's Windows.
Yes.
So all the technology that everyone else is trying to work with on the other tablet vendors running different operating systems is already built in. We've got that security, we've got the manageability, and it's all in because it is full Windows.
Well, I know a lot of the discussion has been related to how do you keep contacts separate.
Yeah.
And particularly client data that might be involved.
Well, that's an interesting point because there's this consumerization of IT and bring your own device and all these wonderful acronyms that we're talking about this era now of bringing in all these consumer devices into work. At Microsoft, in the actual Windows 8, we've brought those contacts together. So when I go into the People Hub, and if you looked at Windows 8 or you go into one of the retail stores and you click on the little People Hub, you'll see this. It brings together all my Exchange contacts from my Outlook for work, plus my LinkedIn, my Facebook contacts, my Live, Gmail, Yahoo, all of those different accounts that I have, brings them all into one spot, matches them all up. So if I know one guy from work is Bill Benton, for instance, I have a friend of mine is at work. He's got a Facebook page, his LinkedIn page. They're all in one spot. So when I touch that on the screen, it brings up all that information at once, and I can text him from the phone. I can email him. I could message him through all those different services, all from one space.
Well, I think one of the other things about tablets is the portability is certainly attractive. But boy, if you ever have to write a report or actually move around on an Excel sheet, you've got a challenge. This is something that I think Windows tablets seem to really address and give you the capability for a full keyboard.
Right, they do, and because you can add devices just because it's a regular Windows machine. So it's the plug and play concept, you plug a mouse in and it works. You plug an HP printer and it works. Same thing extends to an HP tablet running Windows. You just plug it in and it works. The great thing about this ElitePad 900 is there's an optional jacket, like this one that I showed you with the battery, that has a built-in keyboard too. But what I really like, and I didn't bring it and I apologize, it's sitting over at the demo booth in Discover right now, is the Revolve. And that is a PC with a screen that rotates around and folds flat. And that is the one that I prefer, the device that I prefer to use, because it has the full keyboard, the full touchpad on the front so I can do all my mouse. Plus it has all the gestures and touch support so I can make it a tablet when I need it to be.
Now, is the Atom chip standard throughout the HP line as far as tablets are concerned?
Well, no, that's a really excellent point. On the ElitePad, the Atom chip is running on this very well. On the Revolve, mine in particular, I have an i7. I got the i7 with 12 gig of RAM.
Okay, so now you're talking the video editor's kind of power, of horsepower,
absolutely,
to be able to do things. And I think this is one of the other things that was surprising to me was that you're not sacrificing the performance as far as ability to really load it up with RAM and, as you say, to have i7 power.
On the Revolve, that i7's 12 gig of RAM, a huge hard drive, I really love the machine. But I use it for different things than I do on this tablet. This tablet, I definitely wouldn't be pulling up millions of rows of spreadsheets, editing video. I wouldn't be playing games, extensive 3D games. I can play some really good ones. Let me show you Cut the Rope. That's one of my fun ones. There's this one from Disney, which I absolutely love. Where's My Water? Showing this guy. Yes, the alligator trying to fill up his bathtub for him. So you can play games. You can get a lot done with a tablet on an Atom platform, but it really isn't designed for some of the heavy-duty stuff. That's why HP makes the Revolve for people like me.
Excellent. So if people wanted to find out more information about HP tablets, where's the best place for them to go?
Go to hp.com. So hp.com/revolve and hp.com/ElitePad.
Excellent.
Those are the great places to start. Or if you're a reseller, talk to your local distributor. Or if you're a customer, talk to your reseller and they'll have all the information.
Excellent. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
My pleasure.
Also, thanks to you folks for joining us our first day here at HP Discover 2013 in Las Vegas.